Okay, welcome to Dictate Boxing. It's been quite a while since I last came on here. I think over a week since I last came on here and spoke about boxing. Nonetheless, we'll move past that and we'll talk about some of the things that are still lingering around. I think really the main talking point from the past week or so revolves around Oleksandr Usyk returning to fight Rico Verhoeven. Someone who, I'm not going to lie, I had never heard of before. Actually, no, I had. I'd heard of him from when he was linked to fight Anthony Joshua. Obviously, AJ was meant to fight Jake Paul, which he done, and then was meant to fight Verhoeven, and then go on and fight Tyson Fury by the end of the year. Obviously, the circumstances have massively changed that, and it's going to be Oleksandr Usyk, the heavyweight champion, the unified heavyweight champion, a pound-for-pound, top 3, top 2 pound-for-pound star in boxing, is going to be fighting this heavyweight kickboxer, legendary heavyweight kickboxer nonetheless, but still, a lot of fans not so happy about it. But look, we'll get into that in a minute. First, I want to have a talk about the Tyson Fury Arslanbek Makhmudov full card came out a couple of days ago. And obviously, I've not been on here to talk about Conor Benn being on that card as well as the co-main event against Regis Prograis. Obviously, it's going to be his debut for Zuffa Boxing in a one-fight deal. It's not going to be a one-fight deal by the looks of it. I mean, $15 million to leave Eddie Hearn, someone that he's been with for the entirety of his career, and then just to go and fight a 37-year-old Regis Prograis. I'm not buying it. It's definitely it's a plan to build for a bigger fight later on, maybe in the summer. Maybe it's a world title fight or just a massive main event headliner fight against a big name that everybody knows of. So my initial thoughts about Conor Benn being on this card, fighting Regis Prograis, initially when I saw it, I was absolutely baffled. I was not expecting Prograis to be his first fight or his fight for a $15 million offer from Zuffa Boxing. It made absolutely no sense. I mean, out of all of the other options at £147, yes, I know it's going to be fought at £150 because obviously we've not seen Conor fight at £147 in over 3 years or so. And he's been fighting Chris Eubank Jr. twice at £160. So, yeah, I kind of understand it being at £150, but I would have expected it to be against someone more competitive. That's no disrespect to Regis Prograis, but at the end of the day, I think we can all admit he is over the hill. He is washed. He's 37 now. He wasn't even a natural 147 pounder in his prime. He was best at 140 pounds. And I think from that Devin Haney fight, from that Jack Catterall fight, even the Jojo Diaz one weren't great, was it? I think it's evident to see that he's way past it. Which is kind of crazy, because when you throw back all them years ago when he fought Josh Taylor, who went on to become undisputed, imagine he won that fight. The narrative around Regis Prograis would be completely different right now. But he didn't. He lost, and then he carried on, and he ended up fighting Devin Haney. Got completely schooled against Devin Haney. One of Devin's best performances in his career, in my opinion. Same as Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall performed very, very well against Regis Prograis. And yeah, I think we all kind of expect Conor Benn just to steamroll him in this fight, and he should steamroll him in this fight. He's much bigger, he's much younger, he's fresher, he's more explosive. He's there fighting in his home ground. I mean, he's fought at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in his last 2 fights. And yeah, I fully expect Conor Benn to get the job done here. For Regis Prograis though, of course you're going to take this fight. It's a last chance to get a big payday, and he's going to get paid a big sum of money. I don't know how much he is getting paid, but it's going to be a lot of money. He's going to come out and he's going to say that he's going to go in there to try win this fight, and he's going to say that he believes he can win this fight and talk his shit. I think he's probably going to have a strong indication on how this fight's going to go. I think he knows realistically he's taking this fight because Dana White and Zuffa would have offered him a shit ton of money. And I absolutely don't blame him, you know. At 37 years old, absolutely take that payday. Now, from Zuffa Boxing side, this is where the criticism comes, because I've seen a lot of fans talk about it being the biggest overpay in boxing. If we're going to be honest, it probably is, isn't it? But, like I said earlier on in the video, I don't think it's just a one fight just to stick your fingers up at Eddie Hearn, just to get Conor Benn fight for your promotional company. I don't think it's that. I think it's very much a situation where they've discussed a longer term plan here. I just don't see Conor Benn leaving Eddie Hearn, someone he's been with from when he first started as a professional, someone that he was so close to. I mean, look at the criticism that he's been hounded with for leaving and ditching Eddie Hearn for his now biggest rival, Dana White. I'm very certain there's going to be a plan for a massive fight in the summer, if he beats Prograis, of course. And so Zuffa overpaying? Yeah, they are overpaying, but I see it kind of differently. I'm not going to lie, if you're looking at Zuffa Boxing, who's just come in, they've had, what, 4 shows? They've not gone that heavy with them shows, have they? And then this one, they've just been able to throw 15 mil just to the side at Conor Benn to fight Prograis. That suggests to me that they've got a lot of money to throw around in the sport of boxing. So yes, overpay, absolutely. Over the top for a fight against Prograis, absolutely. Does Conor Benn deserve it, considering he's not ever won a world title? Not really, but at the end of the day, he's a massive star. And if you're seeing ticket sales not doing that well for Fury Makhmudov, I mean, getting Conor Benn on that card, one of the biggest stars in British boxing, undeniably. It makes absolute sense because the ticket sales are going to fly up now. If you've got Tyson Fury and Conor Benn fighting on the same card in the UK at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it doesn't matter what me, you and the other boxing fans think, casual boxing fans over here in Britain are going to go and watch that fight because they don't know who Prograis is. They don't know who Makhmudov is. As far as they're concerned, they see Conor Benn and Tyson Fury fighting on the same card at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're going to buy tickets, they're going to buy the pay-per-view, and they're going to tune in to watch it. Now, for Conor Benn, can you begrudge him 15 mil to fight Prograis? No, not really. I mean, he needs to fight close down to the welterweight division. We've not seen him fight there in, 3-4 years. He's been fighting at 160 pounds. Like, he needs to get used to fighting at that weight. He needs to be able to aim for a weight to cut down to. Obviously, he's been cutting down since his rematch against Eubank. I mean, he keeps posting about his runs being really easy and he's absolutely smashing his runs. If he makes 150 pounds comfortably and he gets in there and he performs very well, then that will set him in good stead to make that 147 pound limit this summer in a big fight against whoever it's going to be, whether it's Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Rolly, whoever it is. We need to see, and he needs to see, if he can get close to that weight. And again, in terms of profile wise, if he goes in there in a big stadium on a big card and he goes and steamrolls someone and gets a highlight reel knockout, all of a sudden, you know, he's joined Zuffa Boxing with an absolute bang. All the hype, all the noise, it's going to be all over social media, and then he's going to be front of the queue for a world title shot in the summer. And I don't doubt that Dana White and Zuffa are going to be able to land him a big fight. But that's enough of the co-main event. Let's go into some of the other fights that are on the card. I'm not going to read out every single one, but the main ones are, bear with me. We've got Jamie TKV versus Richard Riakporhe, which is an absolute massive fight. I'm not going to go into that one because I feel like we've known that this was going to happen for quite a while. We've had whispers and rumours about them being on this card for quite a while now, so I'm not going to go into that one. But this one is very interesting. Fraser Clark versus Justice Hooney in a heavyweight fight. That is a very, very interesting fight. A massive kind of a last roll of the dice for Fraser Clark, isn't it? Because of the age he's at. And I would absolutely love Fraser Clark to win this fight because I'm a massive fan of Fraser Clark. I just can't get that picture out of my head from that rematch against Fabio Wardley though. And the problem is, for a Fraser Clark fan, he's been to war too many times lately. Way too many times. And when you watch how Justice Hooney boxes, I feel like despite getting knocked out in the final round against Fabio Wardley at Portman Road, the way he performed, he's a very, very good boxer. He just got chinned by somebody who's a devastating puncher in Fabio Wardley. Fraser Clark knows that better than anyone else as well. And so a very interesting fight. I don't think we've necessarily got big punchers in this fight, but you got two very good boxers. I just can't help but look past the youth of Justice Hooney and the fact that I've just seen Fraser Clark in too many wars, and that wear and tear in terms of just the beatings and the 12-round war in that first fight against Wardley, let alone the rematch where he got, you know, that was a brutal knockout in the first round. It's kind of hard to look past Justice Hooney in that, but I'm still going to be rooting for Fraser Clark. I hope he gets the job done. Look, let's get into the main part of the video anyway, because it's still being talked about quite a lot. Oleksandr Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven in a heavyweight fight. I don't actually know if the WBC world title's on the line. I'm pretty sure the other titles aren't on the line. Obviously, we know that Oleksandr Usyk gets a voluntary defense. Fine, whatever. What side should we tackle first? Look, so there's the one side who are more critical of this. Let's go into that one first then. So I hear it, I understand it. If this was Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury taking this fight, they would get absolutely slammed, for sure. But I feel like if anybody deserves a pass in boxing, it is Oleksandr Usyk, isn't it? I mean, he has taken the biggest fights since he began boxing. He's gone to away soil and beaten the champions on their ground. Tyson Fury twice, Daniel Dubois twice, Anthony Joshua twice. Look at the names on his resume. I feel like he deserves to have a fun fight. And also, if Oleksandr Usyk gets the job done, like we expect him to get the job done, and say Fabio Wardley goes and beats Daniel Dubois, that fight is absolutely massive. And I can't help but feel like Usyk would go and take that fight and then maybe call it a day after that. I fully expect Oleksandr Usyk to have this fight and then go and fight either Kabiel or Fabio Wardley. The only matchup that I kind of fear is the talk around Tyson Fury. I know Usyk spoke about it quite a lot, or a few times anyway, and we have heard quite a lot of murmurs around a trilogy between them two. I don't want that to happen. That would just be... I feel like most of us are all in the same sort of mindset with this. We don't want to see it again. We've seen it twice. We don't want to see it again. We want to see a Kabiel or a Fabio Wardley get given the chance to go and upset the champion. Also, the talk around Deontay Wilder. I feel like if this fight was against Wilder, that would have made more sense. Surely it would have made more sense. I know they tried to make it happen. For whatever reason, it didn't materialise, but that would have made more sense. I mean, Deontay Wilder is an actual... he's a former heavyweight world champion. If he was to have this fight and then go and fight Wilder after this, I'm sorry, that's where the criticism would increase. I know quite a lot of us, I think, are being pretty tame with it. I think we're giving him the benefit of the doubt because it is Oleksandr Usyk and he does deserve that benefit of the doubt. But he's got to go and have a proper fight after this. At 38, 39, if you want to have a couple more fights, fine. But don't have, they can't be fun fights if you're still holding world titles. Now, Rico Verhoeven, I said it earlier. Yeah, I'd never heard of him before he was linked to Anthony Joshua a few months ago. I'm pretty sure a lot of other boxing fans have never heard of him either. But from what I've heard, he is a very, very good kickboxer. Apparently the greatest heavyweight kickboxer of all time. So obviously has massive credentials in his martial art. Apparently he's got really decent hands as well. And he has trained with the Furies, Peter Fury in particular, who we know is a very, very good boxing coach. So... I know his knockout ratio in terms of his kickboxing fights aren't that high, but I'm pretty sure they have 5 rounds anyway, so you don't really get a massive chance to get knockouts. But for somebody who has not ever had a boxing fight before, or only one, I think, he's probably had the best prep that you could, probably better than what Ngannou would have had going into his fight against Tyson Fury. I guess the only difference is we all knew who Ngannou was, and he was out there knocking out loads of opponents in the UFC, so we actually knew of Ngannou. This guy we had never heard of until he was linked with Anthony Joshua, and until this fight was announced. So yeah, listen, I'm not that against it. Obviously, on paper, it doesn't look good as the champion fighting someone that does not deserve the opportunity to have this fight. I mean, he's literally completely jumped the queue. I'm very interested to see how the production looks in the at the Pyramids of Giza. I guess it's just kind of a shame that it's not a fight against somebody who deserves to have that fight. In terms of Agit Kabiel though, do I feel sorry for him right now? Because he has no fight. I kind of don't. Reason I say that is because Kabiel's had the opportunity to have a fight against somebody else just to stay busy. I mean, everybody else, every other notable heavyweight, are involved in fights within the next few months. Kabiel is not. He's just going to have to wait along the wayside again for the opportunity to fight against Usyk, because that's the one that he's holding out for. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can just wait for Usyk to be ready, if he even chooses to fight you. I know it sounds harsh. Kabiel deserves the opportunity. He should be fighting against Usyk next, but he's not. So for him, he needs to be organising another fight against somebody else. I can't really think off the top of my head who else there is who he could fight. I mean, Andy Ruiz maybe? I don't know. Literally every other notable heavyweight are locked in for fights. Even Lawrence Okolie versus Tony Yoka has been announced. So I don't know for Kabiel. We'll have to wait and see. He might end up just fighting somebody that we don't really know that much about, similar to his last fight. But, yeah, we're going to leave it at that anyways. Make sure to go follow Dictate Boxing on all other social media platforms. Links are down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Dictate Boxing if you're new around here, and we will speak very soon.